Okay, so of course, this is the Warrior Mini 2, the original version here, and there's some distinct differences. When I first was revealed, I really didn't like it because it was basically not covering the aspects that I like, which is that I wanted something very good, tactically speaking, but still very compact. And you can see there's a significant difference in size. We'll get onto that a little bit later. So first of all, let's talk about some stats here. As far as power is concerned, it uses the same battery, but for some reason they have found a way to be even more efficient in the Warrior Mini 2. You're getting not only more brightness in 1700 lumens versus 1500 lumens, you're also getting quite a substantial extended runtime in a lot of those modes. Specifically in the turbo, you're getting much more of that full blast 1700 lumens for a far longer period of time than you do in the Warrior Mini 2. That's already very impressive, and I think part of that has to do with the way these lights are designed. You can see we have here a double layered glass lens versus a plastic lens. In this glass lens, there's actually some headspace behind it as well as a wider bezel area, whereas here we have a lot more compact. So there's going to be more heat stored in a smaller area. So you're going to have to, down ramp a little bit faster than in this light. Speaking of the front, you'll also notice this little cutout area in the Warrior Mini 2. Now that is for a sensor that detects whether you're close to the light. So if I turn on the turbo, get my hand to it, no problem. Very clever way of solving that problem. And if it detects that there's something in front of it for a certain amount of time, I think it's a few minutes, it will automatically shut itself off. So if it were to come on in a bag, it will absolutely shut itself off. You don't necessarily want to have that happen because you'll run out the battery eventually, but the fact that that's all built in is actually kind of amazing. On top of that, there's a number of other features that are really hard to ignore. I mean, I really like this light. Really like this light, and I probably will still continue to carry it. But there's just some advantages here that I can't fully ignore. Now, in addition to a improved pocket clip, and I would say improved because it can go deeper, right? It's just a better pocket clip. You also have the ability to use this this back area. Now it comes with this little lanyard rig thing so that you can use it kind of quote-unquote hands-free, get it out of your way, do something, and then flip it back in your hand. So that is already kind of neat for some people who want that functionality, but I think where it's particularly interesting for me is that I really like being able to put it bezel down. So you can switch the clips around. This is something people have been asking for a very long time, when they went ahead and did it in the Warrior Mini 2. Why this is so good for me is one area where there really isn't that much or any difference whatsoever is in the sections towards the back. So these are pretty much the same diameter here, whereas they're different at the head. So if this section is inside my pocket, what's actually sticking out is basically the same thing. So the fact that this is deeper in my pocket doesn't really have a particular effect on the length. And there's much less of this sticking out. See here, there's not that much above the clip. But in here, yeah, you got quite a bit more. So from a perspective of carryability, when we line up clip to clip, you can see that's a big difference in the way it's going to sit in your pocket. Metal table, it's funny, the magnets. Speaking of magnets, I have seen that this can in fact work against flat surface and not fall over, but honestly I have my doubts that's going to work consistently. It'll be fine upside down, but when it's like this, you may have trouble holding it because it is a little bit longer and a little heavier than the Warrior Mini 2. Or sorry, the original Warrior Mini. This already was a bit of a stretch. Still strong magnets. Speaking of the button, which is where the magnet is, interesting thing here, they've changed the feel. This has a more I don't know what you want to call it, but it's almost like I can feel the half click when it goes to the half press button. So that's pretty interesting. Definitely an improvement over the original design. And I can't quite put my finger on what they've done with this button, but it certainly feels different to me, and I really like the way it feels. It's kind of annoying to me that, but also kind of impressive that somebody who really didn't want to like this light is now kind of, I can't ignore that it's pretty much an upgrade in every possible way to the Warrior Mini, and I love the Warrior Mini. So yeah, I mean, they really went above and beyond. I think that also the addition of the glass lens cannot be understated here. That's a huge improvement in clarity, and when I used it in the house not too long ago, the actual light coming out of here felt much cleaner, clearer. The outline was more, concentrated. It's definitely the kind of light where everything's a little bit more focused, so you're going to get more throw from it as well. And in times when you want to use like a smaller amount of light on your peripheral, so you don't have that really bright beam where you're looking, this is actually going to be really, really nice. All that light's not as dispersed to the edges, it's staying much closer to the center. And I really like that for this type of light. I think when you're talking about a tactical light, you want some combination of super bright hot spot in the center and maybe some very mild outer light, if any light at all. You really want a very nice concentrated beam, and this does provide that. Also, from what I saw at the destruction tests, having this double layered glass means that if something were to happen to the outer layer of glass, it's still going to protect the lens, protect all of the internals, which is really quite amazing. I'm just really blown away. This light is not actually going to be mine. It's not the one I'm going to be carrying. I got it for a friend. My light's still in the mail, but I am very impressed, to say the least. Everything seems to be functioning properly. Yeah, they didn't just fix a couple problems. They straight up made a new light. I mean, these are almost too dissimilar to compare to some extent. This is, it's just a huge jump up for a pocketable light that works tactically. I mean, this is still quite a bit shorter than a lot of those larger tactical lights, while even being brighter and having a better combination of functions. I think when you're putting it on your hat, I think having it in this orientation is still going to be more balanced, but this is still a stretch. All of these Warrior style lights, they're a bit heavy to put on a hat in general. They're really designed for being held, and that's okay. That's okay. I do worry a little bit about the more aggressive bezel here, but it's not too bad. And the reason I say that is whether they're going to let you walk through TSA with this light. I don't know. People, I've had bad luck with TSA. This I think I'd get away with. I don't know about that. So that's something to think of if you're going to be traveling with this light. But man, whew, they really, really outdid themselves on this one. I don't want to get too winded in it. There's some great reviews already on this light, but yeah, if you were looking for this type of light and you like the tactical style lights, this is going to be one of the best ones on the market. Just for what it offers, it's very hard to beat. You still have all of that Olight functionality with the magnetic charging and all of that, and then on top of it you have these upgraded features. And I like the length. The length is actually good for the tactical aspect of it. I mean, what do you want? It's awesome. Thank you for stopping in. I would highly recommend checking this light out. Now remember, this part is not a paid review. I purchased this light, and it's yeah, it's really, really good. I wish it wasn't so good, but it really, really is. So check it out, and see you again soon.